Hello, everyone. My name is Juliana Mesa, and I am one of the advisors at the Center for Global Intercultural Study, or CGIS. CGIS is the LSA Office for Study Abroad. We have 140 programs in 50 different countries, and amongst those programs, we have what we call Global Course Connections, or GCCs. The GCC programs have two components: an on-campus course that you take in the winter term and an off-campus course that you take in the spring term. Usually that is in May. So here I'm going to talk today about GCC in Mexico. Applications are currently open for this program and close December 10th, so you still have some time to apply. Spanish 231 students are the main audience for this program, as the 4-credit on-campus component of this GCC is Spanish 232. Specifically, Spanish 232 special topics, gender equality in Latin America. In addition, students who participate in this program must register a 2-credit course in the winter term registration. However, you go abroad right after the end of the winter term. So it will be the beginning of the spring half term in May. Please note that you must register the 4-credit on-campus course before the application deadline. This is very important to make sure that you are interested in going to this program. And again, you must register for Spanish 232 special topics, gender equality in Latin America. For the 2-credit course, you need to wait until you get accepted to the program to do the registration, because that requires a special permission. Acceptance letters will be going out to students in mid-December, a week or so after the December 10th deadline. Another thing that I want to emphasize is that when you start your registration in mid-November and you register 15 credits, that is including the 4 credits for Spanish 232, you need to make sure that you leave some space for the 2 credits that are the off-campus component. So when you register the 15 credits after you get accepted to the GCC and then register the 2 off-campus credits, that will be a total of 17 credits that you're taking in the winter term. If you have any questions about this, please come to my group advising. I will be talking more about this in my last slide. In the spring, you will have 2-day class per week for 3 weeks in a field excursion. And before May, you will need to participate in the GCC retreat, which will take place Sunday, February 19th from 1 to 5 p.m. And also meet with your professor and cohort in March or April. More details about the GCC program in Mexico. This program will take place between May 7 and May 28, 2023. The program fee is $1,250. It includes full room and board. Your faculty leader will be Professor Nina O'Connor. She will actually be joining me to one of the group advising sessions. We are able to take 12 to 18 students, so we do have limited capacity. And if we have a lot of applications, then the program will be competitive. So make sure that you work on your application as soon as possible and maybe schedule an appointment with me if you have any questions. As I mentioned, full room and board is included. You will be staying in a homestay, and 3 meals will be provided every day. The program fee also includes entrance fees, in-country transportation for any program-related activities, on-site orientation, 24/7 support, airport transfer upon arrival, and guest lectures and a field trip to Chichen Itza. Airfare and tuition are not included, so make sure that you account for those separately. I think this is a great program because, as I mentioned, it is Spanish 232, special topics, gender equality in Latin America, and gender equality and women's rights is a very important topic nowadays. So if you're interested in those topics, if you think it's something that will help you not just with your Spanish, but with your career moving forward, and your studies here in college, please take this course. It's a great opportunity to practice your Spanish. The group will have different site visits and guest lectures, including a conversation with a Mayan midwife, which gives you the perspective not just from Western medicine, but also from an indigenous side perspective and a more local perspective. You will also visit El Instituto de la Mujer, talk about women's rights and specialized care in Mérida, and have guest lectures on women's reproductive rights, sexual violence, and HIV. In addition, there's other cultural activities like a bus tour of Merida and walking tour of Merida's historic city center. You will visit the Mayan World Museum. You can take a cooking class of the local cuisine and a salsa dance lesson, which I know is going to be a lot of fun. And then again, there is the day trip to Chichen Itza. You will have this presentation. Your instructor will be sending it to you. So you will have access to the CGIS website and then also the general GCC website, which includes the other 3 GCC that will be offered next winter and spring. There's different topics. The only one that is focused on Spanish 232 is the one in Mexico. Then I also included the link for the GCC in Mexico for you to get more details about the program, and the Compass brochure, which is where you submit your application. Then, as I mentioned earlier, I will be having a group advising session. It's virtual. I included the Zoom link. Professor Nina O'Connor will be joining us. So it's a great opportunity for you to get to know her and talk more about the class topics and course topics and stuff like that. In addition, I want to mention that we have our CGIS advising page if you want to learn more about how to schedule an appointment with me or with another CGIS advisor, or you're just interested in studying abroad in general, not specific to this program. Or you can just go directly to this link and schedule an appointment with me. Again, my name is Juliana, and I am your advisor for the GCC Mexico program. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope you're interested in applying. I hope to see a lot of your applications by December 10th. So please start as soon as possible. Oh, and lastly, I do want to add a couple of student experiences. This is from students that are currently taking Spanish 232, special topics, gender equality in Latin America. So please see their opinions on this class. Thank you.
I recommend taking this class to learn about gender equality. I think it's really great. We learn a lot of vocabulary. It's especially helpful for me because I want to be a lawyer. So you learn a lot about terms about like the law and government and like civil rights issues type of stuff. It's really fun.
I think this class is great. I feel like the workload's really manageable. I came into it not having taken Spanish for 3 years, and I was able to pop back in. Feel like if you put in the effort, you'll do fine.
Gracias.
This class is really amazing for learning about the culture and the lives of women in Latin America, and it's very applicable to the world in general.
I've really liked this class because I've had the opportunity to apply my Spanish to real world problems and learn the comparisons and differences between gender inequality in the US and in Latin America.
I really like the class. I really like Profe, and I think that it's a really great environment to learn Spanish because it's a little smaller, which makes it a lot easier to learn. And I like the style of the class. I really like it. It makes like learning Spanish much more interesting and easy because it's actually something that's like you want to talk about and you just happen to have to talk about it in Spanish, which I think makes it easier.
Okay, great.
I also really like this class because it's a lot smaller, so you kind of get to work with a close-knit group of people, which is really nice. And I think the topic is really interesting because you get to learn about topics that are very important in this world and important to society. And it's really interesting to get to talk about it and see it not only from the culture of the United States, but also from Latin American and Spanish cultures, which is definitely always makes for like interesting reads and interesting videos to watch in class. It's definitely doable if you're willing to put the work in.
Yeah, I definitely came into this class wanting to learn more Spanish and like enhance my speaking and my skills, and that's definitely doing the goal because it forces you to practice like every day and use the new vocab and stuff, and the topics are very interesting because it's like not something that is normally taught in Spanish or really in class altogether, so it's a really cool environment.